What's up, everyone? I promised this video for a long time, and here it is. So, a little bit background on me. I was a mechanic for 5 years. I believe it was 5 years. Before I joined the military, still in the military. I get out soon. But between that time, I've been building cars, racing cars, rebuilding shit, breaking shit. You know, the normal thing. I first had my first Saturn when I was 16. It was my first car, a 99 SC2, and I still have that one to this day. It's been about 14 years since then, and it's come a long way. I'll show some photos of it from when I first got it. It was a base model, had electric sunroof, but it didn't work. Still doesn't work. It has electric windows, manual, and it was a dual brick cam. That was the only things I got going for it. I liked to play with it. I was stupid. I was 16, and I blew up the first engine, running it low on oil. Pro tip. Check your oil. And after that, I rebuilt it with the stock engine, put it back in, and after that, about 4 or 5 years later, decided, you know, it needs some boost. It's a little Volvo turbo, and I just slapped that son of a bitch on. I got a cheap OBX header, garbage, and just threw it on and see what happens. No tuning, which was stupid on my part, but it worked for 5-6 PSI. Went through that engine, went deployed, saved up a bunch of money, ended up actually building, or not building, but I bought a forged internal engine, which is the one it has in there now. And since then I've just been progressively going, but we'll go on that more later. Right now we're just going to go over the basics, because this channel is all going to be about how to build a Saturn. It's going to be 100% Saturn related. I'm actually working on the garage right now to clean it up so I can start filming in there. Right now it's a disaster. I just got back from another deployment, so hasn't been touched in 8 months. Alright, so before we can do anything, we need to go over the basics. The different kinds of Saturns there are, because there's a shit ton of them. What swaps, what doesn't swap. Now I'm going to not pretend to be any expert on any of this. I'm not smart enough to remember all these numbers and whatnot. There's a lot of different sources out there. This is going to be one of them, but the sources I pull from, you got sixsphere.com, you got saturnfans.com, you got Facebook. There's a million Facebook groups. You got to find the good ones. And then there's just Google, Wikipedia. There's a Saturn swap Wikipedia out there. I'll put all the links in the description so you can look up and do your own research if you really don't want to listen to me. So first, you got your first gen, 1990 through 96. That's your first gens, 1997 to 2000. That's your second gens, third gens, at 2000 to 2002. Now in those you have some special editions, those rare ones that you might see. You got your 94 Homecoming. It's going to be a pearl white, black emblems. You got the teardrop wheels. 98, 99 they did a red hot coupe or white hot coupe. They came with a black roof panel and black outside rearview mirrors, black emblems, white face gauges, and teardrop windows. These are the most rare of them all. If you can find those are great. In 2001 they came out with a Bumblebee edition, embroidered headrests, black leather interior, yellow leather inserts on the seats and door panels, black roof and mirrors. They had a number designation in the fuel door if you could find it, and from the factory they came with a certificate of authenticity. I doubt you can find those anymore. Some major differences that these had. I'm no expert on this, check me if I'm wrong. You might have to do your own research because I'm just going to be spelling out numbers and stuff, but all the information's on the links I provided. But your basic ones are your rods, and 91 through 98 are the same. 99 to 02 are the same. 99 to 02 are longer than the 91 to 98. And then 99 to 02 have to be used with the 99 to 02 pistons, which have the wrist pin moved up. The valves 91 to 94 are flat faced, and you can use them with the 91 to 98 cylinder heads. 95 to 98 are dished, and they go to the 91 to 98 cylinder heads as well. So you can use the flat face or dished, depends on what compression ratio you're looking for. We'll go into the builds later. You got the deeps build, you got a turbo build, you got, I mean, if you really want to, you can go supercharger, but it's not very common. So you got 3 different kinds of intake manifolds. The 91 to 94 you can interchange, 95 to 98 you can interchange, and then 99 to 2000 plus you can interchange. And the same thing with the throttle bodies, same range, interchange. Your fuel rails, 91 to 94 interchange, 95 to 97 interchange, 91 to 94 had fuel regulators that are non-adjustable. 95 to 97 had regulators that were adjustable. And then anything on that was a returnless system, where the fuel regulator was actually built into the fuel filter. Not ideal, but there's ways around that, and we'll talk about that later. So some big things when you're looking for injectors: if you're going to upgrade your system, you're going to need bigger fuel injectors. That's just name of the game. There's two different kinds of injectors. There's peak and hold, or low impedance, or saturated, also known as high impedance. 91 to 95 had peak and hold. 96 to 02 have saturated. So that's a big thing if you're getting bigger injectors and you're not going standalone fuel management system. If you are going standalone, then you're going to have to pick whatever your system works. Sometimes you can do one and do both, or do everything together. We'll talk about exhaust manifolds when we get to turbos, because that's when it's really going to play into effect, where you have 5-bolt or 9-bolt, and it really affects what you can use and what you can't use. So what I'm going to leave you with is, what are your goals, and let's be realistic. The big things when you're building a Saturn, or building any car really, is you need to know how much horsepower you want and what's your budget, because those two things are going to dictate what mods you do. If you want 400 horsepower but only have $5, it's not going to be realistic. So let's be realistic with this. How much horsepower you want and what your budget is. I see too much of how much boost you want. That's not right. You don't base anything off of boost, because 5 psi on one engine or 5 psi on one build is going to be a different horsepower number than 5 psi on a different build. You can safely push 5 psi with one build with one turbo, and then blow up an engine with 5 psi on a different turbo with a different modification list. So really what you're looking for in your brake numbers for engine components are usually in horsepower, or if you're using clutches, torque. Do you want boost? That's the second question. Are you going to be naturally aspirated, or are you going to use boost, or are you going to use spray? What do you want to do? There's a million different options either way. And all this will depend on how much you want to spend and what your horsepower goals are. Do you want a janky engine that's not really going to work, or do you want a nice build? Now, I know there's plenty of people in the community that have done very nice things, and there's plenty of people in the community that have half-assed things, and we'll go over both. I started off when I was young, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to try to teach you what I've learned over the years. I'm no expert in any of this. I've learned as I go, and I'm still learning. So I'm just going to share what I know and what has worked for me throughout the years. Another thing to take away is it has been done. Now, I just pulled this list off. I don't think it's updated at all, but it has. I'll throw it up on the screen, but it has been done. These are the horsepower numbers of the biggest Saturns out there. 460, 420, 340, 336. It's realistic on a turbo. As long as you know how to tune and you do everything the way that we're going to teach you here, it's doable. Naturally aspirated, you're not going to go much higher than 150, 160. It's just realistic. And now this is all dual overhead cams. The single overhead cams, it's not even worth playing with. You can boost them and you'll still get stock power from a dual overhead cam. So again, let me know, what are your goals? What do you want to do with yours? I already know what I did with mine, and I'm going to share about that in the next video. What I've done, how it's progressed, what blew up, what didn't blow up, the mistakes I made, and how to fix those, and what we can do better in the future, and where the build is going in the future. So if you're interested in that, throw a like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. I'll do the best to get the video out this week. Till then, deuces.